Welcome and welcome back to Told by Kira. This is the next episode, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, I'm going to talk about something that is very near and dear to me, and that is curly hair care, which is the one of the reasons that I had started really watching YouTube in the first place years ago. So, I had grown up all my life, kind of just in wearing my hair in slick backs or trying to straighten it with heat tools. And then when I was in high school, I really said, you know what, this is a long process to do this so frequently, and I don't want to look unkept, but I don't want to also spend so much time doing my hair. So I would say late high school, is when I began to chemically straighten my hair with relaxers. I mean, I was in the salon every 2 months. So, and after about 15 years ago, I would say is when I really said, okay, let's learn what your natural hair is about. Um, and it was a learning process. It still is a learning curve. However, I'm just so happy that you guys are here because I really I've learned so much along the way, and I'm still learning. And I wanted to share with others because while I love consuming, and I do still consume curly hair content, among other things, I really wanted to create, right, to help others. So moving kind of that from that consumer to creator is something that I'm excited to do with you guys. Uh, and when I say that, I'm talking about content. I'm not talking about products. I'm still. That's the thing about curly hair is consuming. Doesn't have to be, but more products. But it is definitely worth the work if that is, if you have naturally curly hair and you want to explore it in that state. Maybe you've been wearing it curly for years and you just want to learn new tips, or maybe you are still straightening your hair and are ready to go for a big chop. I've done that probably 3 times. So let's get into it. And yeah, so um, I know I'm talking about curly hair, but my hair is currently covered. I'm wearing a silk bonnet, which is one of the first things I learned about when taking care of my hair. Before I was like, well, what is that? What is Now I actually prefer the bonnet. I do have a couple of pillowcases too, silk pillowcases. Like if you're traveling and you don't pack your bonnet, or if you just, I don't know. But I actually kind of like the bonnet because the pillowcase stays in the bed. This you can kind of wear um, elsewhere too. So that's been definitely helpful in maintaining styles. And so today, I know it's a lot. I'm just gonna do a quick little refresh of my hair while we chat. I did go to the beach yesterday, so it is washed, and I styled it yesterday. Uh, but I find with curly hair that you really need to, at least for me, my hair loves water. So um, wetting it every day is important, whether I'm washing it or not. It loves water, so I'm just gonna. So what I do is this is mostly doesn't have the cap on. This is a leave-in conditioner, kids leave-in conditioner from Shea Moisture, but this is mostly mixed with water. So I'm just gonna go in and kind of spray it on there. So yeah, when I first started watching YouTube, actually, one of the people that I really found helpful was Curly Penny or Penny Tovar, because it was just, and a lot of others, it was just inspiring to see them, you know, embracing their natural curls, but also sharing what products, what styles did and didn't work. Um, I remember, like, after I'd been watching her for years, like looking for one of her first videos, and it was no longer there. But basically, what I'm saying is, I was really inspired by these people because it was like 9 years, 10 years of my natural hair growth, after a big chop or after going curly. And at that time I had gotten my hair relaxed maybe like a month ago. So I was like, wow, 10 years, like 11 years, even 5 years. It seemed like an eternity. And so looking back, in 2011, I had started my natural hair journey. I did not do a big chop in 2011. I had just kind of decided to stop relaxing it and let the relaxed portions grow out at that time. So, again, 2 years, 10 years seemed like forever to grow out this hair. And at first it felt very limp and just wavy and like it was never going to be full or actually curly. There were points when I doubted if my hair really was even curly. or, but, just kind of sticking with that process because it is a process. Sorry, I'm just really trying to get it moisturized. So that has been, but here we are 15 years later in 2026, 15 years later on this natural hair journey. And I'm just so grateful that I started, because I love my curly hair, and it's okay. Like if you prefer straightening your hair, it's just hair and it's on your head, But I think I have found it so rewarding, to take care of my curly hair, and also now to be able to share what I've learned along the way with you guys. So yeah, I'm just definitely excited for that. Like I said, I washed it yesterday, and because I had gone to the beach, so it is pretty clean. Like it's only the second day. Sometimes it helps when it's a couple days out to have a little more oil in the hair, but yeah. So I'm not gonna, because I had just washed it and really did it go. I'm not gonna comb it today, but after, if I were coming, this is just wet, with a spray bottle. But after coming out of the shower, I love the wet brush. When I started my curly hair, yeah, this is just the wet brush brand. They do make combs as well, I believe, and even smaller sizes of this, but this is the wet brush that I have. I've had several of them over the years, and they honestly last a super long time. I think some of the reasons that I have gotten new ones aren't because they are damaged or not performing well. It's really just because I like a new design. They're very easy to use, very good quality. I don't remember using them when I first started my journey. I was more using combs a lot, but I don't know. Now that I've used the wet brush, unless it's to part or do a specific style, I think I prefer the wet brush to comb. So let me know if you are a curly girl what you think about that, because I prefer this guy to combs now. I don't know, it just feels like it detangles better. I feel like it leaves much less knots with less effort, and so that's one of the reasons I prefer it. So it kind of made the comb obsolete for me. I don't know if that's a hot take in the curly world, but yeah. So then after it is wet and thoroughly detangled, I've been loving this mousse Def texture foam is my main, I would say, wash and go product. I don't actually really love foam products, but this one has been really great. The hair salon, when I get my hair cut, and I only go like twice a year because curly hair doesn't need it as often as you may. I mean, listen, there are people who go much more often than I do, but for me, I think twice, 3 times a year is plenty. And yeah, so after it is wet and combed out, I tend to scrunch it like that. And I really did not think I would like the texture of a foam product, but it has really just been, sorry, one of my favorites. So, uh, and I learned that with product, while it can be tempting to use a lot of it, sometimes it's not the amount that you're using; it's the that you're really um, getting it all throughout your hair evenly and making sure that the product is in there and not just sitting on top of it really helps more than the amount of product you use. So that's definitely been helpful sometimes, especially with conditioner, when your hair feels dry and dehydrated. It feels like you want to just use the whole bottle, and sometimes I have that feeling as well. However, a little bit does go a long way with some of these products, especially the foam. I just feel like you get a lot out of it, so I'll scrunch it. I usually like a side part, but I'll just scrunch it again. I'm refreshing the curls. I'm not really doing a full style because it is the second day, and that's the great thing about curly hair is you can have a wash and go, and it can last a few days, or you could style it. I'll probably do some other styling videos in the future, but this is kind of just to talk about the journey. So, yeah, so again, just a detangler, a wet brush, and the Dew Mousse definition foam is really my basics when I'm, like in a pinch, wash and go. Speaking of wash and go, I did try the Dew clarifying because I've had trouble at first. I was like, well, clarifying, my hair doesn't have much buildup. I really um, don't want to strip my hair, like it's already dry. But I think after a while of being a curly girl, I realized that, okay, maybe there is a lot of product buildup, or maybe every once in a blue moon, a couple times a month or once a month, I want to use a clarifying shampoo instead of just a regular shampoo. So I did try because I went to the beach yesterday and it really needed to be clarified. I did use the Dew Breakdown shampoo. I have never used it before, but it did an amazing job. I can say that now. It smells awesome, and I feel like it really did a good job clarifying without being too harsh, because some of them are just too harsh, or they even, like, I don't know, I've had some that burn my eyes. You know how it used to be like, no tears. Well, that's how we read it, but it was really no tears. Yeah, I feel like some clarifying shampoos can do that. This does not, so I would definitely recommend. Again, it just happens to be another Dew product, the Breakdown, it's called, and it smells great. So that is a shampoo, but I've tried lots of shampoos, and you're gonna have to try different brands, even different lines from the same brand, depending on what your hair needs. Some are more hydrating, some are more clarifying, some are more detangling, right? For length to better come out. So you really just have to try a lot of things, but definitely there's a lot of ways to go about it. I mean, I've done, like I said, when I first started to grow out my natural hair, I just grew it out and trimmed it little by little, had it trimmed little by little. But after, I think in 2020, so probably about 10 years after I had a good amount of natural hair grown out. However, I did do a big chop and kind of got it real short, and then I've done two since then, but you don't have to, and those were awesome, to kind of just feel like I was starting fresh with my texture and all that. However, because it can be tricky when a new texture goes in, but honestly, something I also learned about curly hair is that we tend to have multiple textures anyways. Like most of my hair is a looser curl than the back bottom part of my hair is a much tighter curl. So I wouldn't be worried whether you decide to do a big chop or you decide to just let it grow out and cut it um, as you see fit. It Your hair might have different textures anyways, and that could just be naturally, that probably is naturally just how it is. So don't get frustrated with different texture. I mean, some of it like wouldn't be your natural texture if it's straightened, but you're gonna be probably working with multiple textures anyways, and that's kind of a really cool thing that I learned, that like not every part of your hair is gonna respond the same way. Some might need, like my, where my curls are much tighter, definitely needs more product than some of the front where it can kind of get, or the top, of my head where it's kind of looser or more oil buildup. So I definitely, that is something cool that I learned that I didn't expect to learn. And so that is the clarifying shampoo, the foam, I'm sorry, I said this was a detangler. It's actually a leave-in conditioner that is the Shea Moisture Coconut and Hibiscus. Again, I added, it's probably half product and half water at this point, but I've liked it. Even when it's the full product, I think it does a good job. So the next one product I'm going to talk about is like a gel, right? And I think this product is what I struggled finding more, because previously I had used gels just to slick it back and keep it didn't move. I remember one time I was driving with a friend of mine, her mom, and she had a convertible, and I was probably like 13 or 14, and I in the back of the car, and she has curly hair, but I don't remember at the time. But anyways, it was just in the back of the car, and my hair was not moving at all. And it's, sometimes you can still brush and slick your hair back as a curly girl, but before I used gel simply as a keep it down, keep it flat. But I really like the idea that you can use it to hold a style, keep texture and edges in place. So because I had to reshape how I thought about gels, it took me a while to find one that worked correctly, and I've tried a few. I don't remember. Let me know in the comments if you remember. There is a blue one, maybe like Blue Bliss or something of that nature. I have bought it before. I liked it. I don't know again what the brand is, but they sell it in tiny little like 1 or 2 ounce tubs, because you don't typically need a lot of gel. And I was loving it for a little bit, but then I don't know. I feel like if I didn't use it quick enough, it got like just a strange smell. So I don't know, some blue little hair gel. And then for a long time, I was using the Meow. I think it's rosemary and tea tree oil. It's like a green packaging. The problem I had I think it did a good job with the hold. The problem I had with that was that it did not. So I think the Miel did a good job holding. For me, I've realized after many years of just being stubborn and wanting to use something because it smelled good and it worked, that the tea tree oil was actually really bothering my scalp. I know it's in a lot of curly hair products and just hair products in general. It smells awesome. At first, especially if it's in like a shampoo or a conditioner, it feels awesome. But for me to leave it on my hair in the gel for a couple days in a style, even the first day, it would just irritate my scalp so bad, like to the point where it was bad. And I wanted to use it because it smelled good, and I felt like it really kept my edges in place, but it was just not. I had to I had to be done with that. So that was sad, but I am excited because I also got this to do. It is called, sorry, it's like Karen. Push it, and it smells just not. It doesn't smell like tea tree oil, because it's not, but it smells like honey. It's a push it braid and edge gel. So I used a little bit yesterday after the beach, and it has not yet irritated my scalp or any part of my hair. So that's super exciting. And another thing that I like about it is that it comes in a larger size. I'm sure the other ones that I spoke about come in bigger sizes too. I can probably order them somewhere, but I like, for a gel that is not that is a quality gel, that it comes, or seemingly quality gel, it comes in an 8-ounce size. Okay, so I'm really loving that also. And it just helps. I don't know, but definitely don't feel like you have to stick to one brand for your whole hair care routine. Like if you find a different gel that works for you, but you like one, what's another one that was recommended to me? I can't think of it right now. But anyways, there are so many. Like there has been. It can also be overwhelming. That's the thing. Like you have the TGIN, Uncle Funky's daughter. Shea Moisture has been around a long time, but even like Dove is coming out with their own curly hair stuff, and so it just feels like there's so much, and um, it can be overwhelming. But do what works for you, and don't get frustrated that you're gonna have to try stuff at at first, and you know it may not work, and you may love what you use at first, and then somewhere along your journey it may not be as effective. However, it's just part of the process. So yes, the process of unprocessed hair. Well, actually my hair is colored, so there is some process. Lastly, if I were to do, well, I guess the gel would be the final step, but if I were to do another step in my hair care, I would do an oil along with the tea tree gel. I have tried, attempted, failed to use other tea tree oil based oils. And again, I really had hoped that they would work, but what I found recently is this Shea Moisture Ultra Moisture and Nourish Lightweight Hair Gel, and you can see it there. I feel like it doesn't make my hair too oily, and there doesn't seem to be anything in it that irritates my hair, so I've been liking it. I don't use an oil like super often, but again, just to and the cold outside temperatures. However, this summer, I don't know. It just has not. It has not been it. It almost feels like I have more work cut out for me than the winters. It just feels. I don't know if it's the highlights, which I love, but I've had full and partial highlights maybe sporadically over the past 3 to 4 years, and I love them. Or I don't know if it's just like my hair changing in the way it responds, or I just need to hydrate it more, or I need to just drink more water in general. However, it just feels like between the sun and um, the heat, so the actual sun and also just heat and like chlorine. I mean, I don't swim too often in pools, but just like anything, even like a beach, like the salt water, it just feels like anything and everything that wants to dry my hair this summer is going to dry my hair out this summer. So that's been a little, you know, new this year. And also, I feel like it's the same thing. So maybe I have to look at it like a little more holistically because I feel like the same thing has been happening with my skin, right? I feel like in the summer, my skin was always so much more hydrated and glowing, and just the sun and the humidity did good things for my skin. And now I feel as well like it's doing the opposite. So maybe it's an extension, like skincare, hair care. I think I've been doing an okay job of taking care of my hair, but maybe this summer has just been harsh. I don't know. I'm just ready for fall. Are you ready for fall? Because I'm ready. So that is really all of the product that I would use, uh, aside from a specific style that I would use at one time in my hair. However, I wanted to talk about two other products that well, I guess three, but I only have two here, that I would also use in my hair, in the typical curly day routine. And one is this. I have yet to try this one, but I would like to try it because I do like the other foam that I just spoke about. This is the Dew. It's from the B Girl collection, so I haven't seen this too much until recently. It's called Crazy Sexy Curl. It is another foam, and because I liked the other foam, I think I would try it. It says setting foam, detangle, condition, define, hold, and shine. So I don't think I would use this with the other foam. I think I would use it just, I don't know if I wanted to use it in place of the other foam. Would that kind of switch it up, for my main really product aside from a shampoo, which I do usually once or twice a week, conditioner, which I do every few days, and lately because of the summer, I don't know, maybe that's the problem. I've been using a deep conditioner most days, just in lieu of a regular conditioner because it's been so dry. But maybe that's making the problem worse. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Let me know what you think. So I would use this Crazy Sexy Curl Foam instead of this Mousse Def foam, which I really love this, but I'm excited to also try that on occasion. And then this one I have used before. I've actually used it more on my daughter's hair than my own hair, but I've really liked how it, works. So again, I would use this um, in instead of the Mousse Def foam. It is the Dew Bonita Afro Balm, and I have used this before, and it really does a good job with hydrating and just moisturizing um, tighter curls. So if you have tighter curls, maybe you prefer this Bonita Afro Balm, and it does really well on natural curly hair. So yes, and then the other one I wanted to talk about is another the Dew product. It is called Big Papa. It is gel like, but I would not say it is has as much of a hold as Push It, where it's like braid and edge gel. That's clearly gel. It is more, I would say, like a light hold gel. It's called Big Papa. It's from the Dew collection, and I don't know. I like that. I would say it's a mix between like the gel and like a balm or like a hair lotion, right? Like a leave-in conditioner, texture cream, like a cream. So I would say it's kind of between like a cream and a gel. It's clear. It has the appearance of a gel and it has a light hold, but it is not as strong as a gel. So that is another one that is not here with me. So yeah, that's what I've been using recently, and that is kind of my journey again 15 years ago. Who would have thought in 2011, if you had told me that, 15 years you're gonna be in it, you're gonna be still with this natural hair journey. Like when I was 1 month in, thinking like, wow, how does this happen? How do you do it? So definitely um, finding a good salon, using a lot of water for my hair at least, and sleeping with this bonnet are some things that like I learned no matter what products I'm using. Those are tried and true tips that I've learned. But definitely start the journey, and you don't even have to I don't know, you could just go big chop your hair tomorrow. And if you hate it, it will grow back. It's hair. But that doesn't mean you can't have fun with it. And if you want to grow it out slowly, um, that's okay too. Because sometimes like you can still like style your hair uh, with heat if that's what you desire. I don't typically do that, but like I use a diffuser very, very seldomly. But some people do straighten their hair a couple times a year. That's okay too. It's just about, I think that the styles with your naturally curly hair are so versatile. You can straighten it, you can blow dry it, but you can also, you know, wear it in braids. You can wear it in pigtails. You can slick it back. You can wear it out. You can do twists. You can do finger coils. There's so many tricks and techniques out there, and it's just so much fun. So definitely have fun with it. Aside from sleeping with a silk bonnet or a silk scarf or even a silk pillowcase, I do recommend. I typically air dry my hair. I don't know. I just have liked that recently, but I don't. When I do like towel dry it, I don't actually use a towel. I use an old t-shirt. This is preferably a cotton t-shirt. It dries it super well, and I think in a good amount of time, but it doesn't tug your hair like a typical the texture of a typical like bath towel that you used to dry your body would. So that is definitely another point that I learned very early on that has been super helpful. But again, there's so much more to be said about products, about styling, about getting your hair cut, and you know that I want to know what you think, what's worked for you, and if anybody can tell me the name of that blue little gel. I have blueberry bliss. I don't know, but it didn't smell like blueberries after a couple weeks. Hey, if you like it, and it works for you, that's awesome. And if you stayed to the end of the video, comment below and leave, I don't know, what should we do? Leave a hairbrush emoji, so that, for your support, and thank you so much. And I hope to see you super soon, and thanks for watching.